Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 7th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Wednesday out there so far. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay. In today's video, we're going to talk about the satellite loop across the northwestern tropical Atlantic, the east coast of the United States. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. We're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory maps. Also, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, Thursday, and Friday. And also, we're going to take a look at the CIPS analog, or SIPS analog, for the next 8 days. If you're a new viewer, now I'd love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road, folks. And let's dive on into your forecast. Okay. As you can see, we got a little system here off the Atlantic coast, just shearing. The wind is blowing, shearing the system apart, pushing it on out to the eastern Atlantic. Also got some scattered showers and storms pushing the Gulf, non-tropical system, just some scattered showers and storms there. We got a cold front dropping in from the north. This front will continue to drop to the south and push through the area later today down into the southeastern United States. Tomorrow will be much cooler, where today's in the upper 80s to low 90s. Tomorrow's high will generally be in the upper 70s to low 80s for a daytime high tomorrow, as that front drops on down to the south and southwest. Through the Carolinas, it should stall out somewhere down there in southern Georgia and across the northern Florida area, and bring us some delightful weather for Friday and Saturday, with temperatures back in the mid to upper 80s, but lower humidity, and also comfortable temperature as well. Alright, let's take a look at the weather radar across the nation. As you can see, we got scattered activity over southeast Canada, all the way up in the Maine and portion of New Hampshire and Vermont, and also up the Delaware area there as well. There's that cold front extending all the way from southern Canada all the way through Iowa, back into Illinois, into North Carolina, offshore there in the coastal waters. On that front, scattered shower and storms over the northwestern portion of the Bahamas. A little bit over Cuba. Puerto Rico looks a-okay. Got scattered activity down in the Gulf of Mexico and also across central and southern Florida, including the Panhandle there as well. Got some scattered activity over Mississippi developing, also Louisiana, Texas. More scattered activity over toward Montana, back into Oregon, California. A little bit of snow maybe mixing in right there across that area there, California, with some snow and rain mixture. Some rain showers over northeast Nevada. Scattered rain and thunderstorms over portions of Utah, back into Colorado, and also Wyoming, and also northern portions of New Mexico, northern Texas. Guam radar currently looks good. Got some rain showers over central and south portion of Alaska, and a little bit of snow shower maybe mixed in as well, and some scattered rain showers around the Hawaiian chain island there as well. Alright, let's take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories for your locations. As you can see, we got a lot of air quality alerts stretching from the northeast to the southeastern United States. This including pretty much a portion of Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York, down to Boston, also down into New York, also into western Pennsylvania, all the way back into northeast Ohio, central Ohio, southwestern Ohio, also central Illinois, southeastern portion of Michigan. Also, we got air quality alerts all over for all of North Carolina and much of South Carolina as well. Also down in southeast Texas, also in the portion of southern Texas, northeast Texas, central Oklahoma, and eastern Oklahoma, right along the Missouri and Kansas border there. Got some air quality alerts there as well. We got some special weather statements for that air quality alert too, also in Pennsylvania and also around the Washington D.C. area. Also up here in portions of Illinois and northwest Indiana, also in the portion of Wisconsin, northeast Minnesota. Red flag warning is also in effect for northern Michigan. We got some frost advisory for portions of northern Wisconsin and also portion of Michigan as well. Some beach hazard statements there as well for a portion of Wisconsin and Minnesota. The river flood warning still continues for South Dakota, Also over here in portions of Nevada and also Idaho as well. Also over portions of northern Texas. Flash flood watches in effect for a portion of New Mexico, Colorado, southern Wyoming, also up here in Montana, also Idaho and northern portion of Washington State. Got a flood warning there in effect for a portion of Montana. Hydro issues there over northeastern portions of Nevada. Special weather statements for portions of Nevada, western Nevada, and right along the California border. Also back up in the portion of Washington State. Alaska looks good. Got a few special weather statements down here in the southern portion of the Hawaii chain island on the south side, but the remainder looks a-okay. Alright, let's move on to the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. As you can see, we got marginal risk down here in portions of the South Carolina, North Carolina, eastern Georgia, eastern Georgia. Also in the port, we got general thunderstorms over here in North Carolina, southern Virginia, all the way back to Louisiana, all the way up to Minnesota, back to Montana, back to Oregon and California, Nevada, back in the portion of New Mexico and Texas and Colorado area as well. Marginal risk also down here in east central Florida, also to western Texas and to the panhandle of Texas, eastern New Mexico, also up in North and South Dakota. Got a marginal risk in southwestern Montana, back through Idaho, all the way back into Oregon, also in the northeastern California and northwestern Nevada. Alright, being the marginal risk, this includes Miami, Florida, Haiti, Florida, a little bit Texas, Orlando, Florida, Amarillo, Texas, and surrounding areas. The tornado probability is less than 2% all areas. Winds, 5% in the Carolinas, down in Florida, Texas and New Mexico, North and South Dakota, California, all the way back in the portion of Montana and Idaho there as well. 5% include Miami, Florida, and Haley, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pembroke Pines, Florida. Hail probability, same areas, 5% Carolinas, Florida, Texas, New Mexico, North Dakota, also Idaho, back into California. This includes Miami, Florida, Haiti, Florida, a little bit Texas, Orlando, Florida, and Amarillo, Texas. Let's take a look at day 2 outlook. You can see we got general thunderstorms over portions of the northeastern United States, down to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, through the South Carolina, down to Florida, Florida Keys, all the way back to Louisiana and Texas, all the way back to California, all the way back to Washington State, all the way over to Minnesota there as well. Marginal risk over southern South Carolina, southern Georgia, well, central and southern Georgia, that is, northern Florida, also in the southern and central Texas, also in the north and South Dakota, central and eastern portions of that state, also in the Montana, northern Wyoming, portion of Idaho, and northeastern portions of Washington State. Marginal risk include Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, and Spokane, Washington. Let's take a look at tornado probability. Less than 2% all areas. Winds, 5% in the South Carolina, down into Georgia, Florida, Texas, portion of North and South Dakota, Montana, back into Washington State. Hail, same areas. South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, North and South Dakota, Montana. 5% Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, Columbus, Georgia. I think I forgot to read the winds, but that's the same areas. Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, and Spokane, Washington. Alright, let's take a look at day 3. Take a look at the your day 3 outlook. Alright, we still got general thunderstorms over portions of Maine, down in the West Virginia and Virginia. Still got general thunderstorms and marginal risk down in Florida, down in Florida Keys. General thunderstorms also in portions of Louisiana, Texas, back over to California, back into Oregon and Washington State, Montana, back to Minnesota and Wisconsin and northern Michigan. Also, we got a marginal risk over portions of the Panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, and southern portions of Kansas and southeastern Colorado. Let's take a look at the category. Let's see if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Amarillo, Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pembroke Pines, Florida. That's the marginal risk. Probability for severe weather, same area, Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Amarillo, Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pembroke Pines, Florida is the 5% areas. Alright, let's move on to the SIPs analog. As you can see, this starts off on June the 8th. This is for your Thursday. We got some maybe a chance of severe weather over the Carolinas here in Georgia. We got a 10% over here in portion and a 15% down toward the Orangeburg and maybe toward Aiken area of South Carolina. Also got a little bit over here, 10% over here in northeast Texas. There's that 10, 15, and 30% over here in west Texas into portions of Colorado. 10% up in portions of Montana. Let's take a look at June the 9th. Back over here in the west from central Texas all the way into portions of Wyoming. A little bit over here in portions of Montana and Idaho. 30% over in portions of Colorado, 15% in West Texas, all the way into portions of southeast Wyoming for the probability of severe weather for day 2. Alright, let's take a look at day number 3. This will be June the 10th. There's that 10 to 15 to 30% chance of severe weather from Texas all the way into portions of Wyoming, also into portions of Kansas and Nebraska. 30% over portions of Colorado and southwestern Kansas, also 30% over portions of eastern New Mexico and the western Texas, well, the panhandle of Texas, that is, for day number 3, and that would be June the 10th. Alright, let's take a look at June the 11th. We got 10% down here in southeast Florida. We got 10 and 15% over here in Texas, all the way into portions of Kansas, southern Nebraska, all the way back into Wyoming, Colorado, and eastern New Mexico for severe weather. Take a look at day 5, June the 12th. Got a little bit of 10% over the Carolinas. Also got 10 to 15% over here in portions of Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, back in Arkansas, Louisiana. 10%, 15% from Texas, all the way into Oklahoma, New Mexico, into Colorado, the southern portions of Wyoming as well. Let's take a look at day number 6, would be on the 13th of June. I got severe weather stretching from Pennsylvania all the way down into northern Florida. Got 15% over Georgia and the Carolinas, and a little bit up here around the Washington, D.C. and Pennsylvania areas. Also got 10 to 15% over here for portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, all the way into a portion of Colorado, and Wyoming, and Kansas, and Nebraska, and all the way into Texas and New Mexico as well for June the 13th. Let's take a look at day number 7, June 14th. We got 10 to 15% chance over here in the Carolinas. Got 10 to 15% and a 30 from portions of Texas. Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, all the way up in the portions of Wyoming and South Dakota. Got a 30% down there in portions of Texas and Oklahoma for severe weather on June the 14th. And let's take a look at day number 8. That would be June the 15th. Still got 10% up here in the northeast, a little 15% over portions of Pennsylvania. We got 10% over the southern Virginia through the Carolinas, back into portions of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Got 10 to 15% also down in portions of Missouri, down into Texas. Also back into portions of Colorado, and also into Utah. Not Utah, excuse me. Wyoming, southern Montana, southern South Dakota, excuse me. I'm getting my states mixed up. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, you get the general idea where it's at. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the weather. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. And like I say, enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and stay safe and well. And we'll catch you back in the next video.